So Ilhan Omar is back at it again. It's funny to me because I've said over and over again, I can't really count how many times I've said this, but it's like if you think that they're going after Ilhan Omar because of her comments about APAC, then you're not wrong. That's partially correct, but it's a bigger picture thing. If you think they're going after her specifically and only because she's Muslim or because she's black or because she's Somalian or because she's a refugee, once again, you'd only be partially right. The thing about Ilhan Omar is that she's audacious, and she's audacious in a way that we haven't seen in the past. And we've only recently started seeing Congress people being able to behave like this openly and keep their office because they receive such a mandate in a level of popularity that kind of makes them untouchable thanks to the social media era. And I've always said that the reason that Ilhan is being attacked isn't because of her comments about APAC or Israel or Venezuela or Saudi Arabia or Obama or Trump. It's that she just doesn't give a fuck. She's attacking. She's going to call out any and everybody unapologetically so. And guess what you're going to do about it? You're going to write about it. People are going to research her. People are going to once again find out she's correct. And then the cycle starts over again. She gets more popular every single time they try to smear her. And the reason why is because she does things like this. Now, in response to a tweet by Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar joins her in calling out Saudi Arabia. Now, Rashida Tlaib said, remember when Trump said he wouldn't cut Medicare and Medicaid? Well, he broke that promise. He'd rather give Lockheed and the Saudis money for missiles. In response to that tweet, Ilhan Omar says Saudi Arabia is consistently ranked among the worst human rights abusers in the world and is responsible for famine and the cholera outbreak in Yemen. Yet it is the top buyer of U.S.-made weapons. Why is Donald Trump siding with weapons manufacturers over human rights activists? Now, this isn't coming totally out of nowhere. I mean, if you didn't know, the evidence is everywhere, but just if you're new to the Saudi Arabia conversation, I have this article here from CBS where they talk about this. United States remains the world's largest. First line. It's the first line of the article. The United States remains the world's largest weapons exporter, a position it has held since the late 1990s. Our biggest customer, Saudi Arabia. That business reality came into the forefront this week in President Donald Trump's refusal to crack down on the kingdom whose royal rules have been accused of murdering Saudi-born U.S.-based dissident journalist who disappeared after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Now, the United States sold a total of $55.6 billion worth of weapons worldwide in the fiscal year ending in September 30th, up 33% from the previous fiscal year, which is near a new record. So in 2017, the U.S. cleared $18 billion in Saudi arms deals. So I ask you this, where is this lie that Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib told? Hearing that should make any sane human being, especially a human being currently living in America, that should make you just irate. I mean, I would be I do get livid talking about this stuff, and I've been blessed enough to have TRICARE because I'm retired military, but not everybody is blessed. And even our TRICARE isn't effective like it used to be. The only way that you can get 100% coverage on TRICARE now versus back whenever it was worth a damn is if you're near a military base. But our copays have been going up every year. Your copays, if you don't have TRICARE, has been going up every year. Your deductibles have been going up every year. Trump said he was going to fix the healthcare system. Isn't. Instead, he's gutting it. Instead, he's making an attempt to gut Social Security, and he's giving tax breaks to giving tax breaks to the rich, making money off of weapons manufacturing. $18 billion. $18 billion, people. 18 billion. I just don't get it. Like, the man said he wanted to make America great again. And yet, what we do is we invest in weapons manufacturers, right? We give them subsidies, we give them money to go destroy other nations instead of making America great again. If America ever was great. There was a time period that even though there was segregation going on, there was a period where black people and minorities of all kinds were actually pretty prosperous. I mean, that was until the white backlash and, burning of Tulsa, Oklahoma and Black Wall Street and Berkeley, California and the riots in Chicago and Rosewood, Florida. But there was a period where it seemed as if Americans were being put first above the elites. And it isn't the case anymore. And Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar do a fantastic job of calling it out. And specifically, they do a fantastic job of calling Trump out on this. Now, I will be honest with you. Here's what separates Ilhan Omar, people like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Tulsi Gabbard. They will call out Saudi Arabia no matter who is in office. I can almost 100% guarantee that. I mean, Ilhan Omar had the balls to call out Barack Obama, who is, good God. Like, do you understand this man is, like, think about how the Democrats reacted. Like, they were like, Ilhan Omar, said some anti-Semitic comments, and there were kind of some people who were somewhat outraged. At least they pretended to be concerned, at least. But whenever she came at Obama, they flipped their lids. Now, because of her willingness to call out anybody, I believe that this is non-unique to President Trump. But Trump is in office. Trump is supposed to be making America great again, right? Trump is supposed to be working for the people. Trump is supposedly an isolationist. He's supposed to be doing things different from the deep state. But he's taking meetings with Kissinger, giving subsidies to Lockheed Martin to sell to Saudi Arabia. Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all those companies keep the profits. We don't get anything back, and then they get more subsidies. But like Rashida Tlaib said, and like Ilhan Omar said, it's at the expense of your health care. It's at the expense of your child care. It's at the expense of human rights, the most basic level of human rights. How can America be great when we can't even afford the medicine to get us through our pains, our illnesses, our ails? Like, it's been proven when we're healthy, we're more productive. But maybe that's a problem. Maybe they don't want us productive. Maybe that's it. If we're too productive, then we might begin to think for ourselves. And God knows the elites don't want that. So shout out to Ilhan Omar, shout out to Rashida Tlaib, and everyone else more than willing to call out this military-industrial complex and the constant corruption we are seeing from the man who is supposed to be draining the swamp, but apparently seems to be swimming in it. Thank you for watching that segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. Help us reach our goal of 500 patrons. You can do so by donating as little as $1 by clicking on the Patreon link in the description below. Don't forget, join us on Roku and JustNForm. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. And remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.